Okay, hopefully this works. It just had Express not really load very well for me. So let's see if it happens here. Hello, we're gonna talk about Sketchbook cover. If you forget your requirements, go back and just double check those, okay? Hopefully you know all of them by now, but if you don't, make sure you square those things away and you are ready to rumble. Also, hopefully you have saved in your OneDrive within your digital design folder, in your sketchbook folder, some photos here to use on your cover, okay? You can add more today or tomorrow as you keep working, but it would be good if you already had some in here ready to go, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna search for the Adobe Creative Cloud. It's not already up here. You can type it in. Hopefully it will pop up here. Open it up. These apps will open up here, and up at the top you'll type in Adobe Express. Try the prior version. The beta was having a hard time opening for me. Not the mobile one, right? We want one that says web. This is the one currently that is working best for me, so I would suggest hopping on that one first, okay? I already have one open here, so I'm just gonna pull it over. It will open up a tab for you because it's on the web, right? What we need to do is we're going to hit this big purple button and create custom graphic. You get to pick the size. We need to be in inches, right? That is what we know best. Click in inches. We're just printing on a normal 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper. Make sure that you are thinking about your height versus width, okay? The width is that bottom length, and the height is that side length, how tall it's going to be. So if you're printing in portrait, you're going to want to set it up 8.5 by 11 this way. You're printing landscape, you're going to want to swap it. All right. So it should pull up a blank canvas here. First thing you can do, one, you can change the background color, right? I like orange. One of my colors I picked is orange, so I'm going to go ahead and make it orange. You can go down here though and customize your color. You can change it to any color you want it to be. You don't have to do one of these current palette colors. All right. Change the color there. Next thing we could do, if you're using a layout, one of those, let's go back to my PowerPoint really quick. Composition types, right? Some of them are a little bit blockier. I did not choose a blocky one. I chose S shape. So this won't be super helpful for me, but it may be helpful for some of you. Over here under layout, they have different setups for composition, right? So if you're doing rule of thirds, look, split up into thirds. Split up into thirds here. I keep going down. Even this one is split into thirds, but you could do 2 images or something in the middle. Keep going down. Rule of thirds. We have L shape, okay? So if you're using one of those blockier compositions, you may want to go in here and look and see what they have, all right? It's okay if you're not. I'm not using one, so I don't need that. Okay. If you have images saved, perfect. We can go ahead and open some of those onto here. There's also plenty of things over here that we could use too. But if you have photos that you're wanting to add, you're going to go over here and click on photos and hit upload photo. Okay. So if you aren't already in that folder, remember you can go into OneDrive, click on that folder, click on your sketchbook folder, and then boom, there you are. Let's go ahead and open up one of my running bibs. Open. All right. So I can edit this a little bit. I don't want that background on there. I could crop it, right, and just get it pretty close, but there's also this remove background button, and it should do a pretty good job at detecting the background on that. Yeah, and it gives you a little option here. If I wanted to go in and remove more of it, I could. Obviously, I don't want to remove that, right? So Control Z is undo, Control Shift Z is redo, okay? But it does a pretty stinking good job at figuring out what the background is and getting rid of it. Once you like it or it looks correct to you, you can hit the little check, and then boom, you have the background removed. You can scale it right up and down. You can move it, the little white cursor, and set it up where you need it to be, okay? So for mine, I would probably keep adding some running bibs, keep moving it, okay? There's some different things over here. We have some different filters if you wanted to change the color of it. If you're working with a certain color, maybe one of these would work for you. If not, you don't have to have it on. Over here, we have different enhancements. If you feel like it's not bright enough, you can kind of change the contrast and the brightness a little bit. Don't make it too bright, because then it gets a little bit hard to read. Saturation is color, so you can mess with that. You take some of that color out, make it really yellow. Highlight is just highlighting any highlights on it. Mine is mostly white, so it just brightens it up again. Shadows, you can darken certain shadows on it. Again, mine doesn't have a lot of shadows. Warmth, kind of changing that color from a little bit cooler to a little bit warmer. Sharpen just kind of cleans up the quality, whoops, on your image there. That one's kind of taken it a little bit too far. So mess around with some enhancements. Look at some of those filters if you want to. You don't have to use either. Excuse me. We have blur, just does exactly what it sounds like it does. It blurs it, all right? Probably not super helpful. Color, change the color of it. Let's adding that background color back in there. I do not need that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. Excuse me, sorry. Woo. Okay, so check some of those things out over here. It may work for your design, it may not work for your design. It just depends on what you're doing and what you need to do, okay? Over here, we have some different options as well. There's a little discover, has different templates, some different text options. You can type something in. If I needed more running bibs, they may have some on here. I could spell running. They have a few things, not a lot. I could go into here to more photos. It says there's only 2 though, so those are the 2. Plants are pretty popular, and I'm wanting to add plants. I could type that in over here. Lots of plant options that pop up here. So they show you text that relates to plants. They show you templates. So if you're wanting to look at a template that you could use, that's an option. Different design assets, and then also backgrounds, okay? So if you're not wanting that solid color, you want to do a bunch of plants, you could do that instead. Oops. Place background. Boom. So I could do that instead, right? Don't want that though. Control Z. So Discover kind of shows you a wide array of all of these things over here. If you know what you're looking for, maybe you're looking for a template, you can type in plants here and pop up that template, right? Boom, lots of different plant templates. If you're looking for text, they show you some options here. You type in, let's see if they have cat. Oh my gosh, me and my spelling and my coughing. Cat. Oh, no cat text. Sad. Plant text. Yeah, there you go. So it pulls up those same plant text options. Some of them have this little crown on them. That means they are not free, unfortunately. Okay. You can also look up free fonts. Okay. You could type in a word. Let's go here. Let's say let's do this one. Go into here. Type in my name. I'm going to do all caps and see what it looks like. Interesting. Splitting it up into 3, isn't it? That's inconvenient. Let's go back up. Let's go to spicy noodle. Boom. So one, I could download it if I wanted to. I can also do a screen capture, which is just the Windows button on your keyboard, Shift S, and then your screen will kind of go dark here. I'm gonna line this up. I'm gonna scroll it all the way over. I'm holding down on my mouse and just sliding that cursor over and letting go. Go back in here, Control V, it's paste. Boom, I can hit remove background. Let it load. And there we go. There's my name on there. So you can also go if you feel like you are struggling to find something, a font in here that you like. There are lots of free fonts and we could download, screen capture, we can add it onto here, okay? Also on here, again, this is where we can add our photos that we have saved. You can also search their photos here. The plants they got. Lots of different plants. I could add this to my, whoa, too many. To my background here. I'm going to remove the background. Want that white. Cute. Scale it down. Nice. Okay. Let's see if they have any running bibs on here. Again, not very many images for running bibs. If you run into this problem, again, you can go online, you can type in running bib. Let's see what we got. Go to images. Sometimes there are options with a transparent background too. We'll see if I can pull one up, show you. Oh. So it will have this little checkered pattern in it, but it won't be on there from this display. It will pop up when you click on the photo. None of these are popping up. Let's do plant, transparent, background. Click on this plant. Boom. See how those checkers popped up, but they're not originally on this display screen like this one is. This is not truly transparent, okay? This one is truly transparent. So if I were to copy this image, go back over, Control V for paste. See how that background doesn't even pop up onto it? Yeah, that's what we want. But again, it's not really that big of a deal because we can go in and remove that background with that handy dandy button that pops up over here when we have that background. Okay. Other things we can do over here, shapes, lots of different shapes. Fill in, again, we could look up for whatever we need. Got a plant there. You can change the color of it. Mine is just default set to this color that I already had on earlier. So if I want to keep it that, I can keep it that. If I want to change it, I do it over here. As I'm adding things to my sketchbook cover here, you can see in this bottom right hand corner that it is building up layers, okay? Literally, we're going to, you can see the layers stack up literally, and what am I trying to say? Sorry. We're going to use layers in Photoshop and in Illustrator, but on this program, you can literally see the layers stack up, right? It's giving you a nice visual of how they are on top of each other. So this plant here is on top of this plant, right? We can see it on top of it on the screen. I can shift it down and move it. You are going to be able to do that on Photoshop and on Illustrator as well. It just doesn't look this pretty, okay? So when I talk about layers, what I need you to do is imagine layers actually physically, literally stacking up, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Other things over here, we have different design assets, right? Ooh, this one's really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Oh, again, you can search whatever you need. They show you what's trending. You have illustrations in here, different brushes. You can do frames. There's lots of really cool frames in here. If you're wanting to go around the edge with something, feel free to look some other cool stuff up in here too. Let's see, I'll add this one. So I have a nice little black theme going on. I could scale this guy up, right? I'm gonna put it in that corner. And double click on it and then scale it all the way up. And center it a little bit more. There you go. If I hated this, remember, I could pull it down so that way all that other stuff's on top of it. I could make my name a little bit smaller so we can see it. Move it in. Move my sun down. And so on, okay? Other things in here, We have different backgrounds, so that's just filling in that background here. That one's money. What else we got? We'll do running. Let's see what pops up. Nope, not a lot of running options. If you're a runner, sorry. So the same plant options popped up from earlier. Again, if we click on it, fills in as the background. Down here, this you could upload a photo if you wanted to, and it will pop it on here. You don't really need to use this for anything. If you have questions on it, I can help you. Libraries, you also don't have any libraries really. We could create a library and you could, we'll call it Sketchbook. Cover. Create. Hopefully this doesn't take forever to load. Okay. And I could start adding things that I want to use on this to this library just to be for my convenience, really. Okay. So I could add all this stuff in there if I wanted to. It's not necessary. You can just keep adding in your photos. You can go to the web, copy and paste. If you want to make a library, that's totally fine. I'm not going to do that. But if you like to be super organized and you feel like you need all of that there, perfect. Go ahead and do that. Okay. So that is what we're using to make our sketchbook covers here. If you have questions, let me know as you're working on it. It is really similar to Canva, so if you've ever used Canva, hopefully you'll have a pretty good hold on this. But check it out, see what else there is over here, play around with different designs, see what templates are out there, see if any of the layouts work for you, and so on. All right. Can't wait to see your sketchbook cover.